Howdy, howdy.
Say again.
Said hello.
Hello.
Again. Hello again. Because we were already
Hello
on
again.
for about a minute before we started the recording.
True.
I wanted to, formally say hello in front of all 16 viewers. All right. So we got episode 10 here. We're going to be talking about the Iran war and Iran-Israel U.S. war. And I want to get your take, because last time, you were saying Iran's got no chance, and that essentially Israel and the U.S. was going to wipe them clean if they wanted to. And I wanted to get your take on now, after a week, what you thought. Do you still hold those same beliefs?
Well, as we were saying, yes, they could. Would they have to resort to nuclear power to do that? I don't know. I think the biggest issue that I see is that currently there's probably 1 million people, I think we spoke about that are part of the current administration in Iran.
Okay.
So I think the difficult part is going to be, how do the Iranian people that want to change the regime go about doing it?
The regime change isn't going to happen from within. They don't want it. Enough people don't want it. There's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people in the Iranian streets after their leader was killed. They don't want it.
I don't think that's an accurate statement from what I have read and seen.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think you're getting accurate information. It's just like in any country, you always have dissent or people that are unsatisfied that are protesting compared to what's, the majority. And I think what happened was, after we killed a lot of their leadership, then the people that weren't, really interested in protesting because they weren't that upset with their government, they all actually came out.
Kind of like when Trump got shot, how that really increased his support.
Exactly. So, like,
I don't know that that's an accurate depiction from what I've seen and talking to people that have family over there.
Well, I can show videos, which I'll get videos of. Like, I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of people, right?
Yeah, but there's 90 million people in Iran. I would say, there may be 30 million or even 40 million, but from what I have heard from people that have people in Iran, that the majority.
I hear what you're saying. In order for any type of change in government or leadership, there has to be somebody in the protesting party that is like a figurehead that's leading the charge. There is zero of that. Like, I think you can agree with that.
Yeah, because part of the problem is they have no means to rebuke the present regime. None of them have guns. None of them can defend themselves. They have and I don't know if you were mentioning this or I heard it from a friend of mine, that at each intersection, the regime has somebody to cover that intersection. Like, if people come out of their houses, they have it covered, because they have 1 million people that are tied directly, that have the means to put down any type of civil disobedience. So the issue is, they don't have the freedom to get out and do anything, because just like they did 2 weeks ago, they killed 30,000 people.
No, they didn't. They just didn't. But that's just that's what you're being fed.
And
by
you're
the
being fed,
propaganda.
and you're being fed other propaganda.
Okay, so that's why
So
we're here.
whose is right?
Exactly. So we need to look at both sides, right? So I think you're completely wrong. I think that you're completely wrong that Israel and the U.S. have the upper hand in the war. I mean, I think that I'm completely right with what I predicted last week, and I think it's starting to show right now.
What did you predict last week that you're completely right about?
That Iran could easily take down Israel if they wanted to. I said that,
And so what makes you think you're right?
because that's what's going on right now.
How do you get that?
I mean, well, why don't we just? I have some video clips, so why don't we just go one by one, and we'll just let me know if you could hear, but I'll share my screen. All right. Well, first off, here's Trump.
The Navy is gone. It's all lying at the bottom of the ocean. 46 ships. Can you believe it? In fact, I got a little upset with our people. I said, what quality of ship? Excellent, sir. Top of the line. I said, why did we just capture?
Okay, so how does that prove your point?
It's not, but I'm just
Okay.
I'm
I
showing
thought you had video. I thought you had
Just
video showing
that.
supporting
Please.
your point.
I got you. I will, but I just want to go over some videos that I have that are recent videos. So,
Well, you know that Trump always makes things bigger than they are. So whatever he's saying is probably 150 to 200% more than reality.
exactly. So
I don't disagree with that.
a lot of the bullshit that you're consuming is based off of that 100%, 150% reality. So you're thinking,
I haven't even heard him. I haven't heard him say anything. I'm not even watching the news.
no, what I'm saying is the narrative from some of the mainstream media from our mainstream media is following this narrative. Okay. That is a narrative of 100 or 150% overblown of how strong and what we're doing, which, yeah, we took out their Navy ships, which
you're way off, because the mainstream media, CBS, NBC, ABC, then you take MS Now and you take CNN, they're definitely not spewing this.
no, I'm talking about what you're used to watching, which
what
is
am I used to? You don't live with me anymore. You don't know what I watch.
Okay,
Let me tell you what I was just watching.
Okay.
I was watching MS Now, I was watching Fox, and I was watching CNN. All three of them.
Okay, good. So anyways, I'm going to play these videos. This first one I think is pretty disgusting, of how he just talks about war and how
I don't care. I want the video that supports that Iran is
okay. Can you just chill for a second and let me go through some of these videos? Just hang out, okay? And just listen to some of these videos. I took some time, chill for a second, and let's just go over some of these, because other people and yourself may have not have seen them, and I just took the time to bring them here. So please just hang on. Thank you.
Why did we sink them? They said it's more fun to. I said, why did we just capture the ship? We could have used it. Why did we sink them? They said it's more fun to sink them. I said they like sinking them better. They say it's safer to sink them. I guess it's probably true. But
so, like, that's Trump, right? It's, first of all, and all I'm going to say about this is people have to respect their leader as a whole. Maybe
whose leader?
Their own leader. If you're going to war, you have to respect the person that's making decisions. I think this is, every time I see him or Lindsey Graham, it's like the most disgusting thing of how they talk about war, right? Because they're not having to live through it. They just don't. The ones that are getting bombed over there have to. So now,
and that's terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that compared to this guy, who every time I see him, he's so much more.
Anthony, okay, don't listen to Trump. Listen to Marco Rubio. Listen to General Kane. Have you heard them?
Yeah. Yes.
And what do you think about how they respond?
Well, very like I can bring up one with Hegseth.
No, I didn't
Yes.
say Hegseth. I said Marco Rubio or General
Yeah.
Kane.
Yeah, they just had a conference yesterday, and yes, they're very direct and not as verbose about what's going on. And they're just right, but
Exactly. They are more controlled the same way the
the
guy that you're
difference,
showing me now is controlled. And I saw this video.
yeah, the difference, okay, is that
It's
Trump,
the president.
yes,
Okay.
okay, so
But
now
everybody knows that Trump does that.
it's different when you're killing innocent people compared to screw Bernie Sanders, he's an idiot. Okay? So people's temperature of what they're willing to accept with their leader when they know that innocent people are being killed is completely different. It gets disgusting much easier, and you lose
So,
your followers.
okay. So then if Israel had done this after October 7th and went in and fought, that would have been okay because they were there. They had a reason to because they were attacked.
Okay.
Is that so? Would that be acceptable to you? I'm just trying to find out where you actually are.
No, what's acceptable to me
No,
is
answer my question. After Israel was
did
attacked,
you just asked me a question.
yeah.
I'm answering your question.
Okay, go ahead.
My point is this. I'm a believer that if you're ever taking anybody's life, right, that it shouldn't be a joking matter. That's it.
Who? I don't disagree with that. That was not my question. So
Oh.
you say you were answering my question. You didn't answer my question. You just said anytime there's life taken, it shouldn't be a joke. Damn straight it shouldn't be. It's the saddest thing there is.
Okay,
My
so
question to you was when Israel was attacked and children and women and men were killed by Hamas, who was funded by Iran, and they're their proxies, then you're saying based on that, it would have been okay for them to come in and fight and kill Iranian leadership.
for who?
For
Israel?
Israel to come in.
If
after-
anybody, this is such an easy question. Okay.
Okay, answer it.
It's as simple as this. If anybody attacks somebody else and is the aggressor, then any civilization has the right to retaliate.
So,
Plain and simple. Hold on a second. There's a lot more that goes to this, to a lot of what's going on. Okay.
let's take it one bite at a time. So you
Okay.
said they have the right to retaliate. So
Any country,
so
any
based-
individual,
so
anything.
based on what you just said,
Yeah.
Israel has the right to attack Iran.
If it is proven that Iran, I'm answering your damn question. I don't know why you just want me to say yes or no, but you don't actually want to get into like the true content of what's going on. So if you want to just ask a question and me to just say, yeah.
Yeah. So you want to get Anthony's truth. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm saying like let's have a discussion.
Okay. Well,
Right.
Go ahead.
So the philosophical discussion is easy for me. I don't care if it is somebody that punches somebody else, a country that attacks another country. Anybody that is attacked has the right to defend themselves. Plain and simple. Okay. Now, your point about Hezbollah and all these different factions possibly attacking Israel, you have to get into No, see, you're raising your eyes.
Yeah, because you're saying possibly attacking Israel. Where have you been?
Okay, what I'm saying is this. Have there ever in the history of the world ever been false flags to allow another nation to give them the right to go attack another nation? Has that ever happened before?
That's not what we're talking about. So are you suggesting that that was a false flag, that Israel made that attack happen so they could attack
Damn
Iran?
right. Yes. So if you watch Charlie Kirk, which this is when he started to turn on it, he said that essentially, but here's the thing, I don't know all the ins and outs. So philosophically, yes, if Iran attacked Israel, Israel has the complete right to go and do whatever they want. So that's easy.
Okay,
Then you get
so that's
into
where we're at.
exactly. But when you talk about what ifs, which we don't really know, right? But we can take a bunch of information about what we've heard and some people that I really respect their like somebody like Tucker Carlson or Charlie Kirk or Judge Andrew Napolitano or Ron Paul, who like Judge Napolitano and Ron Paul, they've been the same way. They've liked Trump. They've not liked Trump. Like they don't play for a team, right? Charlie Kirk was big on Trump's side. And then when he kind of started to dig into things, he started turning on a bunch of things and calling a bunch of things out because he's his own man. Hence why he had a big following. Same with Tucker Carlson. He's his own man, right? So all of these guys I respect because they don't sit there and play for a team. And they'll say Trump's amazing. And then 6 months later, over time, they start unraveling things. Say, I don't like this about him. I don't like this about what they're doing, right? And they don't just go along to get along. So Charlie Kirk made a good point, which is another video that, when Israel got attacked, he said essentially at no point does it take Israel like 4 hours
to respond.
Even if it's in another country. He's like, it's in their own country, and you're telling me that the IDF takes 4 to 6 hours to just react to that attack, right? That they didn't know it was coming, number one. And then after it started happening, they actually didn't respond for 4 to 6. I think it's like 6 hours. He's like, that's asinine. Like, that's like if somebody attacks, in the US and it took our military 6 hours to get to the when the IDF is right there. Like they're part of that entire border, right? Like they're there. So people just start calling that stuff out. But we don't even know what's real and what's not. I just have to listen to independent people that get a lot of inside information from people that are much higher up than I have access to, right? And I take in what they say. So that's all I have to say about that. Now, can we go into some of these other videos that I've teed up for us to watch?
Sure.
All right, great. Thanks. Now I got to share again. Here we go. Sharing. Let's see. Boom, boom. Maybe this. Okay. So this guy is, he makes great points. It's like when I'm listening to Putin.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Even though Putin people don't like him, everything he says to me is just so logical and rational, right? It's like everything adds up. 1 + 1 = 2. And I like those type of people. So,
Mr. Minister, this war has now entered its 10th day. I know you have said that unless there's a permanent end to the war, not a ceasefire, in other words, that Iran will continue to defend itself, continue to fight. Can I ask you, what do you believe that the U.S. and Israel are trying to achieve or trying to change with this war?
Well, actually, they tried to achieve some targets, some of their goals, but they failed. They thought that in a matter of 2 or 3 days, they can go for a regime change, they can go for a rapid, clean victory, but they failed. So I believe that, plan A was a failure, and now they are trying other plans, but all of them have failed as well. And I don't think they have any realistic end game in their mind, because we are seeing some sort of a chaos in their sayings, in their actions. They have just started to attack us blindly. They are attacking today. They attacked residential areas. They attacked hospitals. They attacked schools, and they entered into to attacking our infrastructure, which is a very dangerous move. And as a result, you can see the oil prices everywhere in the world. So I don't see any reasonable goal that they are following. They failed to achieve their goals at the beginning, and now after 10 days, I think they are aimless.
I do want to ask more about the oil prices. As you mentioned, there have been widespread disruptions in the delivery of oil in the Persian Gulf. We're seeing prices here in the U.S. start to rise as well. Do you believe that you can pressure the U.S. and Israel to stop their attacks by slowing or stopping oil production as well?
Well, this is not our fault. This is not our plan. The oil production, the transportation of oil has been slowed down or stopped. Not because of us, because of the attacks and aggression made by Israelis and Americans against us. So they have made the whole region insecure. And this is why the tankers, the ships are scared, to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. We have not closed that strait. We have not. We are not preventing them to navigate in that strait. But this is the result of the aggression by Israelis and Americans, which has made the whole region insecure, unstable, and
So what would you expect him to say? Would you expect him to say, "Oh yeah, boy, we're reeling over here. We have no communications. They knocked out our communications. They've sunk 60 of our vessels"? What would you expect him to say, other than what he's saying?
No, he's just stating the point that they are attacking Iran. Iran is retaliating. And, a lot of people are like, oh, well, Trump is going to launch a huge attack if, because they're shutting down the Straits of Hormuz, which is like, he's just like, we're not shutting it down. There's just a war going on, right? Like,
no, but they have recently said that they're going to.
Well, insurance companies won't even insure boats, so boats are done, right? Like nothing's going through there. It's not. I mean, it's just common sense.
But Anthony, so you don't think that Iran responds and puts out misinformation, is what you're saying? You take them 100% at what they're saying.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say that when I listen to him and others that are talking on their behalf, the information that I get is like accurate on both sides, right? So they're saying, oh, they wiped out our oil fields. They sunk 46 of our ships. They hit our desalination plants, and they've taken out hospitals and schools and desalination plants from us. And that all adds up to what's happening. So like they say on both sides what's happening. And when I hear it from our leadership, it's we're destroying everything and they have no chance. And then hold on. And then when I actually look at the evidence, it's just false, right? And it's much worse than it is. Like Iran, hence why you thought Iran was going to get pummeled. And I'm like,
yeah,
no.
they are getting pummeled. Anthony. Okay.
I still have more videos to show, so let's just get to those.
Okay, I want to go back to the question you brought up about Israel not responding, because there was an investigation done, and this investigation could be false, right? Could be.
Listen,
it could be.
At the end of the but at the end of the day, let's just move on. Like, we don't know what's real and what's not. I stated my case, which is like, hey, I listen to some of these people that I have respect for. We don't know what's real. So like, we're just debating.
Oh, but you have determined what Iran is saying is real. And you have determined that what Charlie Kirk or what's his name, that why did it take 6 hours for them to respond? So let me tell you what they're saying, what supposedly happened, that there was an intelligence failure, that rockets struck IDF surveillance towers and communication equipment along the Gaza border. Remote weapon systems and cameras were disabled. So Hamas did a good job. Also, there were simultaneous attacks in many locations. What they're saying is there were 3,000 militants across the border in multiple ways, blowing holes in the border fence, paragliders, vehicles, motorcycles.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe that happened. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Okay, cool. You stated your case, and who knows? All right. So we're good.
But you are taking.
I don't. It's as simple as this. I don't know where you're getting that information from, right? And that could be.
Well, I know where you're getting yours from. Go ahead. Let's see the next video.
No,
I know where you're getting yours from. You're getting it direct from who?
You tell me.
You're getting it direct from Iran. So let's see the next video.
No, I'm not. I just said, Dad, I just sat here and said Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk's videos, Ron Paul, and Judge Napolitano, which I can give you some great channels to watch of people that I think are completely independent and they don't spit propaganda, right? Okay. So not from Iran. Like, I don't know anything. I don't listen to Iran media. I mean, they don't even speak in English, but yeah, I don't watch.
So how do these other people get the information? Where are they getting it from? Are they getting it from Iran?
Because they know they've been in government. It's like General Michael Flynn, and it's Napolitano, and it's, even Charlie Kirk. Like, they are people that go to the White House. It's Tucker Carlson. So they have a ton of people that are in their networks.
Okay, let's see your videos.
Okay.
And then I'll find out what Judge Napolitano says and what Mike Flynn says.
Yeah, please do. Napolitano's great. Flynn's good.
I've heard Mike Flynn speak in person, actually. So he's a very good speaker.
He's great. And he doesn't pick sides.
Okay.
So go listen to him. You know who else is good? Gates is. What's his name?
Bill Gates?
No. The young dude that used to be, he was going to be.
The Florida.
Matt Gates. Yeah, he's good too. He's a straight shooter. All right, let's see what I got here. Now, this is Ritter. He used to be a CIA agent. Another one that I follow, he's on Napolitano a lot. But
which show is this?
This is RT. But he's on a bunch of different shows. The guy that's about to speak on the left, he's on Napolitano all the time. He's on everybody has him on. He's a wealth of knowledge.
The United States, on the opening day of the war, fired 4 cruise missiles into a facility that was evacuated by the Revolutionary Guard Command long before the conflict. One of these missiles struck a school. The fourth missile, 3 missiles, 2 missiles struck empty warehouses, 1 struck a school. The fourth missile was loitering over the site, collecting data, sending it back for battle damage assessment. The 2 warehouses were empty, no secondary explosions. But the third site that they struck, they noticed an accumulation of human beings, people running to the site. And so they ordered the 4th missile to strike. The 4th missile went up, came down, and hit. The missile is designed to penetrate with a bunker-busting capability, but there's an additional factor to this missile. Our brilliant weapons designers have concluded that the excess fuel in a Tomahawk missile at the moment of impact can actually be weaponized into a thermobaric weapon, a fuel-air explosive. And so they hit the button, turned the excess fuel into a thermobaric, And the people they saw running were the children who survived the initial attack. They went to the prayer hall with their teachers, and they asked the parents to come in and retrieve their children. Parents were on their way. So the movement you saw were survivors going into the building, teachers with them, parents come to them, and we put the 4th cruise missile in there, turned it into a thermobaric bomb, and burned these children alive. That's this war in a nutshell.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're targeting. And all we're doing is murdering people. And you know why this happened? Because Pete Hegseth canceled a Department of Defense directive that required a civilian mitigation team to go over each target to make sure that we weren't striking the wrong targets. He called that woke. He called that ineffective. He wanted to be the most lethal fighting force in the world. Kill, kill, kill. Well, Pete, you killed them. 170 of them. Children. You're a murderer. You're a war criminal. And so is Donald Trump. And so is every American who supports this war. Because this war is an illegal war of aggression. We aren't obeying the laws of war. And we're simply...
So this guy here, by the way, voted for Trump, and he was on the Trump bandwagon.
Yeah, and look, and he's talking about 4 missiles. And yeah, that was terrible. They struck a school by mistake. War is terrible. And yeah, bad things happen and mistakes are made. Nobody's going to dispute that, Anthony.
Yeah,
He's talking about 4 missiles out of 1,000 or 4,000.
No, what he's saying,
The likelihood of injuries and casualties to non-combatants is there in any war.
Listen, what he is saying is different. I don't know if you heard it. What he's saying is we struck it. We are sending information back. We know that we've struck a place with innocent people, okay? And then 40 minutes goes by, the parents are coming to pick up their children, and then we drop another missile when we know what's going on. That's crazy. That's different than, listen, if we struck them one time and we killed some people, okay. This is 40 minutes after the first strike. And the children's parents were coming to pick them up from school. And we have all this information being fed back to us. And then we strike again. Anyways, here's whatever. So this is like a 1 year.
Anthony, yeah, okay. It's terrible.
Okay,
I don't disagree with that. And as I said, sadly it's going to happen. And
okay,
yeah, just the way Judge Napolitano has criticized it because it's a war of choice, he's correct. It's a war of choice.
that wasn't Napolitano, but
Well, that's what I'm reading. It says Judge Napolitano criticized U.S. military actions in Iran as a war of choice made by the administration without public consensus, warning of significant risks of escalation. He emphasized potential dangers to U.S. service members and alleges that Russia and China are aiding Iran.
yeah, of course.
Which we know.
So this just happened today. Okay. Iran sent this mass text message to everybody in Israel. The last U.S. radar system in the region has been destroyed. Your government leaders are lying to you. Leave the country. Missiles are on the way. No shelter can provide safety. Right. So just letting Israel know what's up. Now,
yeah. And Israel does the same thing and the U.S. has done the same thing, told people to get out of areas.
okay. So Bibi's brother was killed yesterday. Struck Bibi's house. Done. Okay. A lot of
And has that been verified?
100%. A lot of top officials of Israel are now being taken out.
And that's what happens in war.
No, but yeah, agreed. But what I'm saying is this. You're stating that Iran doesn't have the upper hand. Okay. They've destroyed so many of our bases over there, right? And they're just pummeling. Yes. They're just
yeah, they killed 7 Americans and they injured 126.
no. What I'm saying is they've taken out all of like our radar systems and everything. The Iron Dome no longer exists for Israel, and they're just dropping.
That's not true. What's happening is, and Iran is smart for this. They're using those drones that cost like $20,000, so they can send out 100 of them. And then what happens is, and I'm not sure whether the drones do, but their regular missiles then let out all these smaller missiles.
At the end of the day, what I said last week from
Anthony, time will tell.
Right. But no, it's going on right now.
Time will tell.
Okay. But last week I stated that all Iran has to do is go after Tel Aviv. That's all they have to do.
And what's going on in Tel Aviv? Have you watched any of the TV?
Brushing.
Have you seen the TV feeds coming out of Tel Aviv from all of the channels?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously they haven't destroyed it.
What do you mean? They're getting today.
Obviously they haven't destroyed Tel Aviv.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. This is from today after they sent the text message. And now at night, this is what's going on.
So my question is,
hold on.
My question is, look, I'm not saying that they're not destroying any
you
buildings.
See my screen?
Yeah.
Can you just chill for a second? This is tonight. After they said the last radar is taken out, which we're giving people a minute. Usually they have 5 to 10 minutes because radars pick things up. Then they went down to a minute, and now they have no radars, which means that the Iron Dome, they cannot stop these missiles that Iran is shooting in, which is what I said last week. And it's not, I told you so, but what I'm saying is where you get your information from is not where I get my information from.
Obviously.
And it seems like
you're getting it directly from the source, Iran.
Oh my God.
You are. Where did that video, where does it come from? What you showed me prior to this, where did that come from?
That comes from somebody that's in Israel right now. I don't know. It's an account that when I'm watching Napolitano and, Ritter and all these guys and Tucker Carlson, they put up these guys because right now they're trying to lock down so people can't share things on social media. There's all this AI stuff going on, so you don't know what's real. But Tucker Carlson and Napolitano, they have people that verify and know accounts over there that are posting legit things. So like I'm watching their shows. I see what they post. I'm like, okay, because when I'm scrolling through things, I don't know exactly what's real, what's not. But then they know these accounts and they get these videos and these photos and this information, and I'm bringing it to you.
And based on what I'm reading, it says, well, I don't have the latest up to the minute.
This is up.
Ya Allah,
This is not AI. This is Israel.
I'm not saying it's AI.
This is Israel,
Yeah.
Tel Aviv tonight.
And where's it being filmed?
From a spot in Israel, in Tel Aviv.
And,
That's all.
and so you think that's the destruction of Tel Aviv?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, they hit Bibi's house yesterday and killed his brother.
And
Like,
they hit his house previously in other conflicts. I mean, that happens. Yes. I'm not disagreeing with that. But that doesn't mean Israel is defeated. That doesn't mean that, that
all that can happen is our submarines or Israel starts dropping nukes in parts of Iran. But what I'm saying is, even if they do that, it's not going to stop it. Like we said that we've taken out all their missiles and we're crippling them. It's just the reason why I'm showing this is because I want you to understand that where you're getting your information from is not the full picture.
And
right?
Anthony, only time will tell whether you can say, see, I told you so, or I get to say, see, I told you so.
Right. Oh,
You don't know. You don't, it's not over. It's not over. Sorry.
agreed. But
You think it is. I don't
all,
think it is.
all I was saying, like what I was saying last week, was Tel Aviv has 12 million people. That is Iran's maybe 9 million. I don't know why you're rolling your eyes, but
No, I think all of Israel is only 9 million people.
well, look up Tel Aviv's population. But I mean, it's that in Jerusalem is like Israel, right? Like if that's like if somebody attacked us and took out New York, California, and Florida at the same time, right? Like it's
It's the major hub.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, so
So Israel is between 9.6 to 10.2 million. Tel Aviv has a population of roughly 460,000 to 495,000. So you're kind of off.
wait, is that like? Let me see.
Now, the greater Tel Aviv
Yeah,
area.
exactly.
Well, hold on. But you
Yeah.
said Tel Aviv. That's like saying New York City or the New York City metropolitan area that includes New Jersey and, so
No.
the greater Tel Aviv metropolitan area is about 4.6 million.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Listen, they
Right.
got 10 miles, okay, or 40 miles. That's it. This is like New York is half of their population. That's like if 175 million people in the US lived in New York.
Okay. But regardless of how many people are there, it's their center of their government. It's like Washington, D.C. It's like Washington, D.C. It's still the.
Yeah. So, but yes, I guess at the end of the day, I'm showing these things because I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there that
Yes,
then
you're getting a lot of it, Anthony. I have to admit, you're getting a lot of misinformation.
okay.
You are.
So
Anthony, your misinformation could be just as big as my misinformation. It's all perspective. We will not know until the fighting stops. So
Okay.
you can say you know what's going on. You can say Tel Aviv is done. I can say Tel Aviv is not done. I can say that they're really destroying a lot of what's going on in Iran. They've taken out 75% of their missile launchers. They've taken out. We can all say that.
No,
Until it's over, you or I don't know what is real. That's the bottom line.
Yep. All I'm saying is that I think that there's not a lot of calculation going on from our leadership as much as we think there is. Okay.
Yeah, they're just pressing. They're playing a war game, is what you're saying. And what happens happens.
Yeah, it's like we have all this military might, right? But you're not truly playing chess, number one. And number two, I think that the entire thing was uncalculated. And I think that Vance, for sure, didn't want it. Tulsi Gabbard, for sure, did not want it. The Pentagon also said we shouldn't do it. And we did it. And why did we do it? That's the scary
probably
thing.
because the 8 presidents before said we should do it and nobody did it. Look, the reality is we don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And we can say whatever we want. You can think one thing, I can think another thing. We're spitting in the wind, basically. Because we don't know. You don't know. I don't know. Tucker Carlson doesn't know. Napolitano doesn't know.
Well, they know much more than we know.
So does So does the president. So does Marco Rubio. I mean, all of those guys know more than Napolitano knows.
Of course they do, but certain people. I mean, this is just silly
I know
talk. I mean,
you're just saying that we're being fed a bunch
Yeah.
of propaganda. Yeah, we are. So are you through what you're looking at. And as I said, look, I've said this to a couple of people that I spoke to. I said, I don't think there's going to be a regime change. And I don't necessarily believe that that's what the goal has been. I think the goal has been to take out the ability for Iran to build any kind of military industrial complex, to take out most of their infrastructure that would be needed to do that, to throw back their war machine back 30 or 40 years. I don't think there's going to be a regime change. That's
Okay.
my personal opinion. I don't know though.
No.
I don't believe there will be a regime change.
Well, you already know that's not going to happen because they already put Khomeini's son in charge. So,
but they also arranged his funeral.
Are you talking? Yeah, because most likely he'd
He's
get
gonna
taken
get
out.
killed.
Yeah, but I mean,
all I'm saying, Anthony,
you're stating things that after the fact have already happened. You're trying to well, we already know there's not. I mean, that Iran, it didn't work out the way we thought. We thought it was going to be some Maduro Venezuela thing.
Nobody thought that. I didn't think that.
Well, I mean, last week we were talking about it, and you thought Iran had no chance, right?
I still don't think they have a chance to defeat and to save their their military industrial complex. I don't think they can. Can they keep their regime? I think they very well can. I think that's probably, I would say this. I would say keeping their regime is probably 80%.
Okay.
Keeping their military industrial capabilities, probably about 25%.
All right. Well, I'll just say this.
Should I write that down so when this is over, we know?
Yeah, write this down too. You ready for the next thing? This will be a guarantee for you. There will be many other countries after this conflict that will have nuclear bombs, that will get nukes, 100%. Because all of these other countries that thought the U.S. was going to be able to defend them, not happening.
I don't disagree that other countries may get nuclear weapons. I think the issue has been that Iran has been seen as the center of terrorism throughout the world, and that they and their way of thought, although you see the guy that you showed the video, that's not what the clerics are like.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the best of Iran. You're not seeing the worst part of it.
It's crazy to me that it seems like you think that Iranians that live over there are barbaric.
No, I don't.
People.
I do not. Wait a minute. I just told you I have friends
I don't care what you're saying about
over there. They're not barbaric. They are a good people.
Okay. So what are you saying about the clerics?
They are crazy.
Okay. So
just like the Christians when they went on, back in the early history, when they went on the Crusades, they were crazy.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that more people in Iran now and over in the Middle East, right, will be even crazier now against the U.S.?
Do I think Iranians will be? Well, the latest that I heard was that over 60% of the people in Iran approve of what the United States is doing.
Okay.
Now,
So-
that may be false. And it may
It's a
be true.
I'm asking you a simple question. Let me just go ahead and flip this for
So
you.
you want a yes or no answer like you didn't want to give me before.
No,
Okay,
no,
so
and I knew you were going to say that.
go ahead.
No, let me just flip the question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that if somebody came here and attacked us, that we would have people that now have more hatred and more craziness against Iran? Or we could just say Mexico. If Mexico came over here and bombed one of our schools or started taking out our city's water supplies and our oil refineries and blowing shit up, do you think we would have more hatred for whatever country that is?
Yes. The only thing that you're missing, thing that you're missing in your calculation is how repressive the current regime is and how much there are so many people that there's many people there that hate them as that hate Trump here.
You like running circles.
No,
Okay.
I'm not running circles because you're trying to compare apples and peanut butter.
No, that's what you
are, because you're missing the critical issue is, look, if the United States was a regime that didn't allow women to do anything, that they had to get permission from their husband, that they killed you if you disagreed with them, that if it was a repressive government, then you probably would like somebody coming in and trying to change things.
Okay. So the reason why your argument is apples and oranges is because my question to you is, if a different country came here and bombed us, would we hate that country more? That is a different argument than
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Now let's go to your argument, which is I was talking about apples and you did a Joe on me, which is you wanted to go ahead and talk about peanut butter. Okay. Which is,
you mean your brother?
Yes. Hence why
he's good at arguing. So I take that as a compliment.
Yeah. Because he argues apples versus peanut butter when I'm talking about apples.
Okay.
So your argument is a completely different thing, which is it our job to go to other countries and tell them?
I already told you no.
Okay, so then don't get it mixed up.
Answering the problem is you tend to oversimplify things.
Oh,
because your question leaves out a very important fact, and that is a repressive regime that kills people, that kills their own people in major ways, thousands of people, puts people in jail, doesn't allow women to do anything. Women could be stoned if they disobey their husband.
You are so off your rocker. They are a first world country that has great technology, and everything that you're saying is some extremist shit.
Yes, and that's the regime. You're right.
All right, and we discussed this last episode when I said, do the Iranian people, are they held captive in Iran, or can they freely travel? And we've already gone over this.
Yes.
So you just go back to the same bullshit over and over again. Like it's not reality.
The reality is how many people have the ability to leave and come back, or leave and stay away.
Okay. Well,
you're talking about.
You said this last time too. You're just regurgitating the same stuff that we're
I
talking
don't
about.
remember. That's at least I'm consistent.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is, if it was that bad, and I'll say it again, that all of these people that live in Iran, that fly to all these other countries or travel to all these other countries, you're telling me that, don't you think 10% of them would want to stay in the other countries if they were?
They have. As a matter of fact, let's take what was it, the soccer team, the Iranian soccer team?
Yeah.
Did you hear about what happened with the Iranian soccer team?
About in the 80s?
No, now.
No.
That they requested, a bunch of them requested asylum. They were in Australia because
Yeah.
they don't want to go back. Now, the
Oh
other,
my God, Dad, do you know what the hell you're talking about right now?
yes,
You're okay. Stop. The points that you make are so asinine to me.
why?
Dad, why do you, first of all, they play professional soccer and they travel.
No, it's not. No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was professional. It was like a World Cup or
Okay,
something.
Dad, you're splitting hairs right now. They were playing a sport for their country or
Right.
for whoever.
Right.
Okay. They traveled to Australia, I guess.
Right.
A war started, and they said to Australia, "We don't want to go back. Can we stay here?"
So
That's
let me ask you, how
Oh,
many?
oh, no. You're not getting away with this bullshit. Sorry. That is different than a soccer team leaving during peacetime and saying they want to stay in Australia because they don't want to be killed for random shit.
Not all of them asked for asylum, Anthony.
Because some of them are probably so patriotic that they want to go back. You're proving my point.
Yes, and the point is, some people may want to stay, some people may not want. How many people in the United States? Wait a minute, hold on. How many? You've been talking all this time. How many people in the United States do you think go to another country and request asylum?
Dad,
I'm asking you a question.
can we please just state the difference here? I can't even believe I'm having to.
I'm asking you a question.
I would say almost 0%. How about
Okay.
that? I'll answer your question.
Okay, good.
I can't believe that I'm actually having to make this point. This is just crazy to me. So let's just say I was playing soccer and I go to Europe.
Yeah, and there's a war. No, I understand that point. You don't have to explain it. I'm not that dumb that I can't.
What point are you making then? What point are you making? Your point is a moot point. Is it not?
I'm making the point that people want to leave.
Dad, your point was,
and the other point,
Anthony,
hold on. The other point is, I don't know that there are many people that have the means to leave Iran.
All right. You just said this again. I can't keep talking in circles. Okay. So let's just say I don't know, you can look up the statistics. Let's just say 5 million Iranians travel out of Iran every single year. Okay. Just they go to a different country. I'm going to go ahead and say, if shit was that bad and there's extremists just chopping people's heads off and slicing babies' ankles and for opposition, that maybe 10% of those 5 million people would stay abroad. It's just not the case, right? It's just not. So there's always going to be people that have dissent against their government that want to move out. People say it in the US, okay? And now I'm not saying that Iran is as good and free and protect their citizens like the US, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not making that point. I'm just saying that the way that you portray it, it's like it's this barbaric.
No, I already told you they are not barbaric. The Iranian people are, I think, basically a great civilization. So I don't know why you get this. What I am saying is that the current regime is very oppressive. Does that mean everybody in Iran is miserable? No, I don't think everybody in Iran is miserable.
Yeah.
I think that there are probably a lot of happy people in Iran.
Yeah. And
but the reality is, for some reason, and look, I may be brainwashed, but for some reason, probably the last 8 presidents have talked the same way about Iran. I don't know why. I don't know enough. I'm not a history major, I don't know why. I don't know why the rest of the world feels that way. I don't know why they have not been able to work with other countries peacefully.
I'll tell you why. The reason why is as simple as this. The U.S. has military bases over there and is supposed to be protecting everybody over there, which puts military bases in the Middle East in attacking distance from Iran and other people that are not sided with the U.S., that are not under the U.S.'s thumb. And they want their own sovereignty, right? So the people that don't go under the U.S.'s thumb or Israel, their thumb, because Iran has established their military and their different groups to protect. Yeah, that's great. Raise your hand. To protect the country because the U.S. has standing armies and bases all around them. And if it was happening to us, we would be doing the same thing, okay? So if Russia and China had standing military bases in Mexico and in Canada and all over the place, we would probably have different functions of our military somewhere around there to try to protect us as well. That's it.
Anthony, let me ask you this question. Do the countries that have U.S. armed services bases in their country, was that forced upon them, or did they agree to allow us to have bases there?
Forced upon them.
Okay.
Yeah. There's money, big money, there's oil, and there's force. You know why? Because if you don't do it, you end up like Gaddafi. And if you don't do it, you end up like Syria. And if you don't do it, you end up like Afghanistan. And if you don't do it, you end up like Iraq. And if you want me to keep going on and on and on, it's about conquering the world, and we hide it under spreading freedom and democracy. No, that's not what it is.
Do you think the UAE needed American money?
Well, first of all, everybody wants to have American money. It's the funny money. And number two, if they don't play nice with us, then it ends up like Syria. It ends up like Iraq. It ends up like Afghanistan. Oh, you don't want to use the US dollar as the reserve currency of the world? Oh, really? Cool. Let's see how that works out for you. Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't have anything else to say because
you don't think that
your perspective on everything.
You don't think that the petrodollar and the US dollar being the reserve currency of the world and us protecting it with our military has anything to do with this stuff?
I think it has a lot to do with it. But I don't believe that countries had to have US bases. They didn't have to. They wanted them.
Every country that does not have a US base has had some issue or a war or their leaders taken out over the past 60 years.
Hold on. Does Finland have a base?
What? You're talking about are we talking about the Middle East, or now are we going over to
all countries?
Oh, well, they're all, what do you mean? They're on the US dollar is the reserve currency.
No.
They buy and sell oil in US dollars. That's what I'm talking about.
I know, I understand that.
Okay.
But my point is, not every country has a United States base on it.
Okay, look up Finland. Look up Finland.
It doesn't.
Okay. Look up, we looked at this stuff up. There's 400 bases in other countries. So, okay, maybe there's.
I wish we didn't have them, to be quite honest.
Okay. So are you proving my point? But you're thinking like this is conspiracy
because-
theory.
No, because look, when World War II ended, the United States took on the role, which I don't agree with, of being the police force to protect everybody.
Why did the World War II really start? What was the underlying reason for it?
Because Japan was being aggressive in Asia,
Okay.
and World War II started because Germany was being aggressive in Europe.
Okay, but why were they being aggressive? So we'll hold
Why
this
was
off.
Germany being aggressive?
Yeah, we'll hold this off into the next episode so we could do some research on it. How about that? Because there's an underlying reason for World War I and World War II, and it's not
No,
just
let's keep it to World War II. Why Germany became aggressive and why Japan was aggressive.
Yep. Okay.
And
Yeah.
without saying any more, yeah, I think that's a good place to end.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that that you think that the view of the US dollar and oil is and if a country doesn't bow
I
to
think
our terms.
it has a big impact. I said the last time that everything goes back to economics, which economics is how you spread resources, and it's trying to acquire resources. I don't mean money per se, but economics is all of that. It's land, resources. So everything goes back to economics. I don't disagree with that. I think philosophically, that's where I think everything is.
Okay, so then when I was saying about the bases and the petrodollar and the US military backing that and the our currency being the reserve currency to buy and sell oil with, and if a country wants to start buying and selling oil in a different denomination like gold or a different currency, and then for some reason they go to war.
You don't need to have a U.S. base in your country to use the U.S. dollar. Okay? I don't know why you think that's the case.
That's
Yes,
not what I'm saying. That's not the point I'm making.
yeah, the point you're making is that the U.S. coerces people to allow them to put military bases on their soil.
Right.
And you know what? Military bases benefit a lot of those countries.
Okay, but
In many ways.
you were just saying that you wish we didn't have all those all over the world, right?
Right.
Okay, so which one is it? Is it good or is it bad? You're just going to say,
I'm saying I wish we didn't have that many over throughout the world.
how many is okay?
I don't have enough knowledge to know that. I think it's good to be strategically placed, but do we need it in Italy and Spain and France? And do we need them within 100 miles of each other? No.
Where's China's standing armies and bases? Where's Russia's standing armies and bases?
Because nobody sees them as the protector.
Okay, so it's our job to be the protector. Do you think that's the reason why we're over there?
You just didn't listen to me, Anthony, which has been going on since you're probably after you were 7. No, my point is that we have been the protector. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that is how things have been. It started with the Marshall Plan when we rebuilt countries that we were in wars with or wars against. I mean, so it's always been the United States has gone in.
So let me ask you, because you're kind of talking about speaking out of both sides of your mouth, which is you first say it's economics.
I'm not going to say where you're speaking out of.
Okay,
well, I don't say that on air.
Okay, well, you're saying that we are the protectors, and then on the opposite side, you're saying that it's economically induced. So one is like, hey, these other countries want us.
No, I'm yeah. you're too young to have lived through what I lived through, obviously. The reality is that after World War II, the United States was looked upon by probably 90% of the the Western world as the ones to protect, because we went in and helped win World War II, which was a big thing. So that's been
And so then they all came to us and said, hey, we want your military bases here. That's how it happened in the Middle East and in other places.
I don't know.
Okay, well, we need to do some research.
I would assume that we have asked to be able to have bases there, to be able to carry out the function of what we have been seen as from 1947 through today.
And if we don't, then what happens to those countries? If we say, hey, we want to go ahead and put a base here in, Iraq, and Iraq says, no, we don't want your base here,
then we don't have a base there.
Okay.
Just like in Finland, we don't have a base there.
Yeah, okay.
So what's your point?
I mean, it's just apples and oranges again.
Well,
but it's all good. I mean, yeah. So we just have a difference of opinion. I think there's a lot.
That's for darn sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
mark my word, many more countries will end up having nukes after this. And actually, I think that, hold on a second.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. And I think that even though this war is horrible, because every war is horrible, I think much good will come out of it, because I think it will actually create more independent nations that build up their own army, navy, defense, and it'll create more stability, because there will be less U.S. dominance over the world, and we won't be holding the big stick over everybody, because
and that's an unrealistic view. Just look at the NATO countries. The NATO countries, up until 2 years ago, had to spend 2% of their GDP for their armed services.
NATO's going to go away.
NATO's
going to go away.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were not even doing that. So forget NATO.
Okay.
Are they going to spend 20% of their GDP to arm themselves? Heck no.
Right. All I'm saying is this.
So it's not going to do what you think it's going to do. Because right now, the reason why NATO was created was really to have people all under this one big umbrella, where there was a major fighting force because the reality is NATO is the United States.
All I'm saying is, for many years, everybody looked to the U.S. for protection, but not really. But they thought that the U.S. could protect them. I think this is going to be the first time that it's going to make more countries wake up, that they're going to know that they need to be their own sovereign nation and not depend on another country to protect them. And hopefully they will have their own resources and build up their own resources. And NATO is no longer going to be NATO, and everybody's going to have their own defense. And hopefully it'll reduce the size of the U.S. military, because people will say, no, we have to have our own shit. And Iran's going to give some other people some, what's the word I'm looking for? Hope, if you will, that, hey, like, the U.S. doesn't have to be big brother to everybody.
Well, and you know what? Vietnam proved that we can't necessarily resolve all these issues.
Well, not really, because then Iraq and Afghanistan and many other, the Gulf War, there were so many different wars or battles in
Right.
between Vietnam. We never
And
learned. Why don't we learn?
They never end well. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm not blind to that.
Yeah. All it is there's
But I think
other
it's
simplifying.
unrealistic. It's unrealistic to think that other countries will be able to defend themselves against all other countries. For instance, if you have a country with 100 million people, how is a country with 4 million people going to defend themselves if you decide to come in? It's not going to happen.
Yep. Well, I mean,
It's
I don't
unrealistic what you're saying. Now, the thing that I will agree with is if there's a way for countries to start to think, well, you know, we got to go it ourselves, so we have to look at ways not to get into conflicts. But the problem is that does not stop other countries or other groups from trying to take over for whatever reason, whether they want the land, whether they want the resources, whether they want the people to work for them as slaves, whatever.
yeah.
I just, you know, I don't know how that works. I don't see where in your mind there doesn't need to be a deterrent, because the reality is people don't attack the United States because of our deterrent. People don't attack NATO nations because of the deterrent of the forces available to NATO countries. That's why they don't get attacked.
Yeah.
Why do you think that? Why did you think that Ukraine wanted to be a member of NATO, which I don't think they should be, because there was an agreement made years back that NATO would not
Encroach on Russia.
But why do you think Ukraine, who's doing a pretty good job fighting off a huge country, why do you think Ukraine wanted to be part of NATO?
Well, they didn't want to be. And then we made sure that somebody was elected that was pro-US, if you will, pro-NATO, and Putin wasn't having it. So that's what happened there. And if you think Ukraine's doing a pretty good job fighting that war, Russia could crush Ukraine in a week. If they
Oh,
wanted
this
to.
is interesting.
What?
This is interesting.
Yeah.
So you think Russia can crush Ukraine in a week?
100%. Yeah.
And then why didn't they?
Oh, because because Putin isn't trying to kill a bunch of innocent people. So he's doing it very strategically.
Oh my God. You must live in La La Land. I mean,
Why?
that's what he's been doing. He attacks civilian targets.
Dad.
That's well documented, Anthony.
Okay. It's well documented where you get all your other information.
Okay,
So-
you're right. You're right. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
I mean, the reason why is because,
It's sad to hear the things you say. I'll be quite honest.
well, I'll say this. Over the past 20 years, a lot of the stuff that I've been preaching has come true.
Anthony, I never said we should have gone into Iraq.
All I'm saying is when it comes to the Federal Reserve, which I used to preach back 15 years, all the principles and morals that I've been talking about and I used to hold up signs for, and you thought I was crazy for, you've kind of came over to my side, even though you're not completely on my side, but you like a lot of the ideals now. You're speaking about the Federal Reserve. You know that the U.S. shouldn't be in.
That's why I've never been a Republican or a Democrat. How are you registered? Or are you registered?
Yeah, I'm an independent.
Okay.
Right, no, I'm a libertarian, actually. I'm a libertarian.
Yeah, see, I'm a no party affiliation, because I can vote if I feel Libertarian's the right one, or if a Democrat's the right one, or a Republican's the right one, or Greenpeace is the right one.
Yeah, for me, it's
And I've been that all my life.
Right. But I obsess over a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, you
and
do.
and I gather information from many different sources, and then I hone in on specific people that I respect because they're independent thinkers, and they have been on one side and they've converted to the other side, and nobody tells them what to think. And I follow those people and I get my information, and then I compare the information that they're saying, right? And I whittle down. So
And for some reason, you think I only listen to one thing.
well,
That's
also,
how wrong you are.
just subscribe to Napolitano's. He's a good one. I don't know how often you listen to Tucker, but he was good. Of course, Charlie Kirk was the best.
I've never been a big fan of Tucker, to be quite honest.
Tucker's great. Tucker's great. There's a reason. Go Napolitano. He has about 6 different professionals on every day from different parts of the world. And I mean,
What's he on X, or has he got a
all
podcast?
over, but just go, YouTube.
He's got a podcast.
The best.
All right.
There's no frills or craziness. It's just like he asks questions to professionals that are independent thinkers. Back in the day, that guy that I showed you, Scott Ritter, Larry Johnson, they were all pro-Trump before he got elected. They voted for him the first time around. And then, certain things happen and they don't just stay pro-Trump, right? Napolitano was going to be, they thought that Trump was going to put him on the Supreme Court. Him and Trump were great friends, but now he completely speaks out against everything that Trump's doing. These are their own made men that don't follow just to follow. They're real people.
And you need to do the same thing. That's right.
Yeah, send me some people.
Okay, I'll watch him.
Good. Love it. Love you.
Love you too. Even though you're freaking crazy.
Hey.
But that's nothing new.
Yeah.
You always beat your own drum. That's good. I like it.
Got to.
All right.
All right.
Take
Love you.
care. Love you
Bye.
too. Bye.